Welcome everyone to AI on AI, the podcast where we explore the cutting edge of artificial intelligence and its impact on our world. Today, we're diving deep into a fascinating topic: how ChatGPT is reshaping student learning. We have a fantastic panel of experts to dissect a recent meta-analysis covering 51 studies on this very subject. Let's get started.
Business leader, thanks for having me. This is a critical discussion, not just for academia, but for the future workforce. The speed at which these tools are evolving and impacting skill development is frankly astounding.
AI NLP expert, indeed. The underlying generative AI technology is advancing at a breakneck pace. This meta-analysis gives us a much-needed structured look at its efficacy in a specific, very important domain: education.
EdTech and learning science expert, absolutely. What's exciting here is moving beyond anecdotal evidence. This meta-analysis aggregates findings from a significant number of studies, giving us a clearer, more statistically robust picture of ChatGPT's effects on learning performance, perception, and that holy grail, higher-order thinking.
Let's jump right into those headline findings. The paper suggests ChatGPT has a large positive impact on learning performance and a moderately positive one on learning perception and higher-order thinking. Our expert in EdTech, what's your initial take on these overall effect sizes?
Well, the large positive effect on learning performance with a Hedges' G of 0.867 is quite compelling. It suggests that, on average, students using ChatGPT are performing significantly better. It's like giving a student a superpowered research assistant and a patient tutor rolled into one.
Data scientist and meta-analysis expert, and to put that G-value in perspective, 0.8 is generally considered a large effect size, so 0.867 is substantial. It indicates a strong, consistent positive trend across the 44 studies focused on performance. The paper also mentions high heterogeneity, though, which means the effect isn't uniform across all contexts, and that's where the moderator analysis becomes crucial.
Student educator advocate, from an on-the-ground perspective, that performance boost makes sense. Students can get instant clarification, practice problems, and explanations tailored to their level. It's like having a 24/7 tutor, which can be a game changer, especially for those who might not ask questions in class.
That's a great point. Let's unpack learning performance further. The study found its impact was moderated by the type of learning model, the type of course, and the duration of use. Our expert in AI, can you shed light on why problem-based learning, PBL, showed the strongest effects?
Problem-based learning thrives on inquiry and exploration. ChatGPT, with its vast knowledge base and ability to generate diverse scenarios or potential solution paths, acts as an excellent scaffold in PBL. It can help students break down complex problems, explore different angles, and even simulate dialogues or expert opinions, which is incredibly useful for that learning model. It's not just a data retriever, it's a cognitive partner in the problem-solving process.
Corporate L&D leader. That resonates hugely with what we're seeing in corporate training. We're increasingly using problem-based scenarios for upskilling, and tools like ChatGPT can create highly realistic and adaptable simulations for, say, a sales team practicing objection handling or engineers troubleshooting a complex system. The study showing a G of 1.113 for PBL is a massive green light.
And from a business strategy angle, if we can enhance learning in critical skill areas more effectively, that translates to a faster time to competency for new hires and a more agile workforce. The paper mentions skills and competencies development courses also saw a strong effect, G equals 0.874. This is directly applicable to industry needs.
The duration of use also seems key, with 4-8 weeks being optimal for learning performance. Our data science expert, any thoughts on why that specific window?
It's an interesting U-shaped curve almost. Less than a week and students are likely still in the novelty phase, figuring out how to prompt effectively. The paper touches on White et al.'s point about input quality. More than 8 weeks, and the study suggests potential over-reliance, perhaps a bit of learned helplessness creeping in, which could slightly diminish returns. The 4-8 week period seems to be a sweet spot for familiarity, effective use, and sustained engagement without dependency.
That makes sense. In the first few weeks, students are often just throwing basic questions at it. It takes time to learn how to craft prompts that elicit deep, useful responses. By 4-8 weeks, they're more sophisticated users, But yeah, if they use it for everything long-term without internalizing, performance could plateau or even dip if the tool isn't there.
Let's shift to learning perception, how students feel about their learning. Here, the impact was moderately positive, G equals 0, 456. Our policy and ethics expert, why is perception important, and any thoughts on why it's not as high as performance?
Education policy ethics expert, learning perception is crucial for sustained engagement and motivation. If students feel good about a tool and their learning process, they're more likely to persist. The moderate effect isn't surprising. As the paper notes, ChatGPT, for all its smarts, lacks genuine emotional intelligence. It can't provide that human connection, empathy, or nuanced encouragement a great teacher offers. It's efficient, but not necessarily warm and fuzzy.
Exactly, the technology acceptance model, which the paper alludes to, highlights perceived usefulness and ease of use. ChatGPT scores high there, but deep learning often involves emotional connection to the material or the learning community. While it helps performance, it might not always spark that deeper intrinsic joy of discovery in the same way a passionate educator can. It's more of a highly competent tool than an inspirational mentor.
The only significant moderator for learning perception was duration. Longer use led to better perception. Our L&D expert, how does this align with engaging employees in continuous learning?
It aligns perfectly. Sustained engagement often builds positive perception over time, provided the tool remains useful and doesn't become frustrating. In corporate settings, if an AI learning companion consistently helps employees solve real work problems or acquire new skills effectively over several weeks or months, their confidence and satisfaction with the learning process naturally increase. It's the proof is in the pudding effect.
Now, for what many consider the pinnacle of learning, higher-order thinking skills, critical analysis, creativity, problem-solving. The effect here was also moderately positive, G equals 0, 457. Our AI expert, what are the current limitations of LLMs like ChatGPT in truly fostering these skills?
Well, LLMs are phenomenal at pattern recognition and synthesis based on their training data. They can generate creative-sounding text or outline problem-solving steps. However, true higher-order thinking involves genuine novelty, critical evaluation beyond the data, and abstract reasoning that isn't just a recombination of learned patterns.
Building on what our AI expert said, that's why the paper rightly suggests providing learning scaffolds or educational frameworks like Bloom's taxonomy when using ChatGPT for HOT. Students need to be taught how to use ChatGPT as a springboard for critical thought, not as an oracle. For example, asking students to critique ChatGPT's output, identify biases, or generate alternative solutions after consulting it.
And it's telling that the effect size for HOT 0.457 is quite similar to learning perception 0.456, and both are considerably lower than for learning performance 0.867. This suggests that while ChatGPT is a powerful knowledge delivery and task completion engine, its role as a perception enhancer and a cultivator of deep, critical thought is as of now more supportive than transformative on its own.
Interesting. The type of course mattered for higher-order thinking, with STEM courses showing the largest impact, G equals 0, 737. And the role of ChatGPT as an intelligent tutor was most effective, G equals 0, 945. Our expert in ed tech, can you elaborate on these findings?
STEM courses often involve complex problem-solving and project-based work where students must integrate multiple concepts. ChatGPT, acting as an intelligent tutor, can provide personalized guidance through these complexities, ask Socratic questions, and offer feedback, which are all conducive to developing HOT. It's not just giving answers, but guiding the student's thinking process.
As an intelligent tutor, it can adapt to the student's pace. If a student is struggling with, say, understanding a complex biological process, ChatGPT can break it down, use analogies, and offer varied explanations until comprehension is achieved. This iterative, personalized support, as Escalante et al. Found, helps students reflect and adjust strategies, boosting HOT.
This all sounds very promising, but no silver bullet, right? What are the major challenges and ethical considerations we need to address? Our policy and ethics expert, what keeps you up at night?
Oh, where to begin? Chuckles, plagiarism, and academic integrity are obvious concerns. Then there's the risk of over-reliance, stifling students' own problem-solving grit. Equity is a big one: access to reliable internet and the tool itself, and also the inherent biases in the AI's training data that can perpetuate stereotypes or present a skewed worldview. As Ali et al. Pointed out, incorrect answers are also a risk.
The hallucination problem, where the AI confidently states inaccuracies, is a significant technical challenge. While models are improving, users, especially students, need to be trained to critically evaluate the output, to cross-reference information. It's not infallible.
From a business perspective, the cost of widespread, equitable implementation, training educators to integrate these tools effectively, and ensuring data privacy are all major hurdles. It's not just about buying software, it's about systemic change. As Einstein said, we cannot solve our problems with the same thinking we used when we created them. We need new frameworks for this new technology.
So, how do we overcome these challenges? The paper suggests educational frameworks and scaffolding.
Yes, scaffolding is key, particularly for HOT. This means educators designing tasks where ChatGPT is a tool, not the end product. For example, students could use ChatGPT to generate initial ideas for a research paper, then critically evaluate those ideas, identify weaknesses, and develop their own unique thesis. The 80-20 rule might apply here: 20% AI-generated raw material, 80% student refinement and critical thinking.
In the corporate world, we're focusing heavily on AI literacy and prompt engineering training. It's about teaching employees to be smart users of these tools, how to ask the right questions, how to verify information, and how to integrate AI assistance into their workflow ethically and effectively.
This brings me to an interesting point. We're all focused on student learning, but Expert 4, I have a feeling you might have a contrarian or surprising take on the real bottleneck or opportunity here.
Well, yes, I think while we're rightly excited about enhancing student learning, the real untapped potential, and perhaps the biggest hurdle, isn't the technology itself, but the inertia within educational institutions to fundamentally change. We're trying to fit this revolutionary tool into an often outdated pedagogical and assessment system.
That's a fantastic point. A real plot twist focusing on the educators. Now, let's talk business and strategic implications. Our business leader, how do you see AI like ChatGPT revolutionizing the education sector and corporate L&D?
It's a paradigm shift. For the education sector, it means potential for hyper-personalized learning at scale, addressing diverse learning needs more effectively. Business models for ed tech companies will evolve rapidly. In corporate L&D, it's about creating a more agile, continuously learning workforce. The ROI isn't just in reduced training time, but in increased innovation, productivity, and adaptability.
Absolutely. We're already seeing companies use AI to create personalized learning paths based on skill gaps identified through performance data. The ability to provide just-in-time learning support via an AI tutor for an employee tackling a new complex task is invaluable. A software company, for example, used an AI-powered platform to onboard new developers, and they reported a 30% reduction in time to first code commit. That's a tangible business benefit.
It sounds like the future is already here in many ways. What does the long-term horizon look like? Our AI expert, what's next for generative AI in learning?
We'll see much tighter integration. LLMs won't just be standalone chatbots, but will be embedded within learning platforms, virtual reality environments, and even physical lab equipment. Imagine an AR-enhanced chemistry lab where ChatGPT provides real-time guidance and explanations as you conduct an experiment. The models will also become more specialized, with versions fine-tuned for specific educational domains, offering even more accurate and contextually relevant support.
Pedagogically, this means a shift towards human-AI collaboration in learning. Educators will become more like learning experience designers or AI interaction guides, teaching students how to learn with AI. Assessment methods will also have to evolve, focusing more on process, critical application of AI-generated content, and complex problem-solving rather than rote memorization.
And hopefully, this leads to more equitable access to high-quality educational support. If a student in a remote village can access a world-class AI tutor, that could significantly level the playing field. but we need to be mindful of the digital divide, as Expert 4 mentioned.
From a research perspective, we need more longitudinal studies to understand the long-term impacts. This meta-analysis is a great snapshot based on early data, but how does sustained ChatGPT use over years, not just weeks or months, affect cognitive development, career trajectories, and even societal structures? The paper itself calls for future studies with expanded scope.
This has been an incredibly rich discussion. To wrap up, if you could each offer one key takeaway or piece of advice for our audience of business and technology leaders.
Business leader, embrace this technology strategically. Don't just adopt it for novelty. Integrate it to solve real business problems in training and development and continuously measure its impact. This is not a trend, it's a fundamental shift.
AI NLP expert, understand the capabilities and limitations. These tools are powerful, but they are not sentient. Focus on human oversight and critical evaluation when deploying them, especially in sensitive areas like education.
EdTech and learning science expert, focus on pedagogy, not just technology. The tool is only as good as the learning design it supports. Prioritize training educators and designing learning experiences that leverage AI to genuinely enhance critical thinking and deep understanding.
Education policy ethics expert, lead with ethics and equity. Develop clear policies, promote responsible use, and actively work to mitigate biases and ensure fair access. As we innovate, we must not leave anyone behind.
Corporate L&D leader, start experimenting now but thoughtfully. Pilot AI tools in specific training contexts, gather data, and iterate. The goal is to augment human potential, not replace it. And remember, it's a continuous learning journey for us as L&D professionals too.
Data scientist and meta-analysis expert, be evidence-informed. Studies like this meta-analysis are crucial. Don't rely on hype. Look at the data, understand the nuances of how and when these tools are most effective, and support further research.
Student educator advocate, listen to the end users, students, and educators. Their experiences and insights are invaluable in shaping how these technologies are implemented effectively and humanely. Technology should serve learning, not the other way around.
Wonderful. Wise words from all of you. It's clear that ChatGPT offers immense potential for transforming learning, but its effective and ethical integration requires careful thought, strategic planning, and ongoing research. Thank you to our incredible panel of experts for shedding light on this complex and exciting topic. And thank you to our listeners for tuning into AI on AI. Join us next time as we continue to explore the ever-evolving world of artificial intelligence. This study found ChatGPT positively impacts student learning. It conducted a meta-analysis of 51 research studies. A meta-analysis combines results from multiple independent studies. ChatGPT showed a large positive impact on improving learning performance. Learning performance refers to students' academic achievements. The effect size for learning performance was 0.867. An effect size measures the strength of an impact. ChatGPT had a moderately positive impact on enhancing learning perception. Learning perception involves students' feelings about their learning. The effect size for learning perception was 0.456. It also had a moderately positive impact on fostering higher-order thinking. Higher-order thinking includes skills like critical analysis and problem-solving. The effect size for higher-order thinking was 0.457. The impact on learning performance varied by learning model type. Problem-based learning showed the strongest positive effect. Course duration also affected learning performance. A duration of 4 to 8 weeks showed more stable effects on performance. The type of course also moderated learning performance impact. Skills and competencies development courses saw the most benefit. Learning perception was significantly moderated by the duration of use. Longer use over 8 weeks showed a larger effect on perception. Higher-order thinking development was moderated by course type. Science, technology, engineering, and mathematics courses showed the largest impact. The role played by ChatGPT also influenced higher-order thinking. Using ChatGPT as an intelligent tutor was most effective for this. The study suggests providing learning scaffolds when using ChatGPT for higher-order thinking. It encourages broad use of ChatGPT across grade levels and courses. ChatGPT should be actively integrated into different learning modes. Continuous use for 4 to 8 weeks is recommended for stable effects. Limitations include a small sample size for perception and higher-order thinking. Future studies should explore ChatGPT's effective use more broadly.